Welcome to Customizing Outlook 2010 for your work style. In this section, we'll talk about tasks and calendar. Outlook's time management features can help any personality type manage tasks and appointments. First, let's look at tasks by type. Perceivers should set mini deadlines so they're not trying to complete the whole project at the last minute. Judgers should use the % complete feature to keep track of accomplishments. Sensors can use the large note field in the bottom part of the task to enter details such as steps that need to be performed to finish the task. And intuitives can use different views of the tasks in order to get the big picture of what they're working on. But all types can manage their tasks using the tips on the following screens. First, let's look at using task lists to plan. Use the task function in Outlook to keep track of what you want to accomplish. This is probably most used by judgers, or information that you need to gather, which is what perceivers like to do. Let's also identify what tasks are versus appointments. An appointment is a specific time an event will happen, whereas a task is something you need to do. It may or may not have a due date. Also, let's look at planning and organization. When you're trying to plan or organize, you want to write down your plans to gain a better overview of all pending tasks. Determine what tasks will get you ahead and how far. And then start to focus on what has the greatest impact on your success. Begin to work early on long-term tasks with high leverage, or those that will give you the greatest benefit. Find out what's more urgent and more important than the rest. And then say no to things that keep you from what's important. And use your task list for flexible planning. Stephen Covey, who wrote First Things First, a book on time management, came up with a time matrix. Quadrant A has items that are both urgent and important. These include things like crises, pressing problems, and deadline-driven projects. Quadrant B are important but not urgent. These are things like preparations, preventing crises, clarifying your values, planning and building relationships, true recreation, which are leisure activities that give you a true benefit, and empowerment. Quadrant C are items that are not important but can be urgent. Things like interruptions, some phone calls, some of your mail, reports, some meetings, a lot of proximate pressing matters, and some popular activities as well. Quadrant D are items that are not important and not urgent. Trivia, busy work, again, some phone calls, time wasters, those escape activities like irrelevant email or excessive TV. What Stephen Covey says is that we should spend most of our time in Quadrant B, things that are important but not urgent. Because if we can prevent crises, then it prevents them from being put into the urgent column. So how does that work in with using tasks? Well, here are some tips. When you're using tasks, make the subject clear and meaningful, but no more than a line. The first 2 or 3 words of the subject should indicate your goal. Make due dates reasonable. Break up larger projects into smaller tasks. Set priorities and categories for tasks due on the same day according to Covey's matrix. Filters allow you to view your task list according to categories, such as waiting for someone else. Other features of the note field include attaching documents related to the task and copying email messages related to the task. For managing your tasks, you want to avoid being overwhelmed, so use the following Outlook features to help you manage them. First, sort them by category. You can move them up or down in your to-do list based on importance. You can prioritize them, and you can color code tasks that are overdue. Also, you can delegate or assign them to someone else. You can also use tasks with your calendar to help you plan your week. You can sort all your tasks in the task list using the following screen options. In Tasks, on the View tab, in the Current View group, click View Settings. Click Sort. In the Sort Items by List, click a field name. If the field you want is not in the Sort Items by List, click on a different field set in the Select Available Fields from List. To specify the sort order, click Ascending or Descending, and to sort by an additional field, click a field name in the Then By list. You can move individual tasks up or down in the To-Do bar task list. Simply select an item in the To-Do bar task list, click and drag the item to the position that you want, and as you drag the task, a red line with arrows indicates where the task will be placed when you release the mouse button. You can also prioritize your tasks. If you want to sort your tasks by priority order, you must first specify a priority level for each task. By default, tasks are set to the normal priority level. Open the task for which you want to change the priority level. In the priority box, click a priority level. After you assign the priority levels, return to the task list and then sort it by priority using the Sort All Tasks. You can change the color of an overdue task as well so it will stand out. In the task list and tasks view, click the File tab, click Options, then click Tasks. Under Task Options, click to open the overdue task color list and then click the color that you want. You can also assign a task to someone else. To do this, create a new task or open an existing task. On the Task tab in the Manage Task group, click Assign Task. In the To box, enter the name or email address of the person to whom you want to assign the task. To select the name from a list, click the To button. In the Subject box, type a name for the task. For an existing task, the task name appears in the Subject box. Enter the start date and due date. In the priority list, you can change Normal to High or Low. And then select or clear Keep an updated copy of this task on my task list checkbox, and the Send me a status report when this task is complete checkbox. This will keep you updated. If you want the task to repeat, on the Task tab, in the Recurrence group, click Recurrence, select the options that you want, and then click OK. In the body of the recurring task, type any information that you want to include about the task, and click Send. Now let's talk about how to plan your week with Outlook. Start your weekly planning by evaluating the previous week. Look at completed tasks. Plan incomplete tasks from the previous week again. Does this task need to get done this week? If so, set a realistic new due date. If not, delete it. You can plan your tasks for the next week by going to the task view for the coming week. Add any new tasks for the week. Define, prioritize, and plan your key tasks based on Covey's matrix. If you have too many tasks due at once, adjust due dates for less important ones. Or if you find you have a light week, look at some of your long-term tasks and see which ones you might be able to work on. Be sure to change the % finished if you are not able to complete a long-term task. The nice thing about Outlook is that you can use tasks and calendar together to get really organized. Outlook shows the tasks due for a particular day below the day and week view. You can see for the whole week whether tasks are distributed well. Redistribute tasks if you have too many conflicting meetings or appointments on a due date. Be sure to plan appointments with yourself to concentrate on Quadrant B in the Covey matrix. Block out most important times of the day to avoid meeting requests at those times, but be sure to leave open sufficiently large chunks of time. Use color coding for tasks and appointments to see at a glance what your activities are. Here's an example of what a week might look like, color-coded and with the tasks on the bottom. Here are some more tips for your calendar. Use the shared calendars of your colleagues to plan meeting times. But for this to work, everyone in your department needs to keep an up-to-date calendar. Use the meeting request feature to automatically have meetings appear on the participants' calendars. Use the calendar overlay feature to compare calendars of your colleagues or secondary calendars you have created to look for free times. Right-click on Calendar tab and select Overlay to use this option. Some appointment options available are to take advantage of the Show As field to flag your appointments as free, tentative, busy, or out of office. You can mark personal appointments as private. Now let's look at calendars by type. Perceivers need more kind of in-your-face reminders, sounds, colors, etc. to help them remember what their tasks and appointments are. Judgers should allow some flexibility in their calendars to account for unexpected meetings or crises. Both sensors and intuitives should switch between the daily view and weekly view of their calendars to see both the details of the day and to get a sense of the big picture of their week. Now it's your turn to try all the options in Outlook to see what will work best for your personal time management style.